Hello. So I see you're struggling with adjusting the school time with self-improvement. You wanna have good grades, but you don't have the time to self-improve. Now pick a side, school or self-improvement. And here's what I'm gonna tell you. What if you can do both? And the thing is, listen, my story. You think it's very hard to do both, but listen to my story first. I wake up at 5 a.m. 5:30, I'm on the bus. And I come home from school at 6 o'clock. And then I have training at 7 o'clock. And I have training for 2 hours, and then I have to go back home. And then I have to get ready to sleep and go to sleep to wake up at 5 a.m. again. So basically, free time in my day was 1 hour. And that 1 hour I had to spend to eat because I was bulking, of course, because I was training. And I had to study for school. And yet I still have time for self-improvement. How is that? How is that? Hear me out. What do you do when you come home? Probably not very productive stuff. Unless you're trying hard. But you're not trying hard enough. Listen, let me read you a quote. If you think it's impossible to adjust those two things, I'm gonna read you a quote right now. If it's important to you, you'll find a way. If not, you'll find an excuse. So what I'm trying to say is, you can do anything if you try hard enough. You can fucking do anything if you try hard enough. You can find the time. You have to look outside the box, and you can find the time. And I'm gonna tell you how do you find the time. How do you study and get aces? Because I had aces, and I had 1 hour of time to study, right? Actually less. But how did I have aces? How did I get A's on tests? How? Well, actually the answer is pretty simple. You have to smartly adjust your time. You have to work smarter, not harder. First of all, you have to learn how to study. How to learn, so you actually remember stuff faster. And second thing is, how and when do you learn? So, when I told you I had 1 hour to study, actually less because I had to eat, you thought, so in the whole day he had that 1 hour and he studied that time and get an A on the test. No, it's not true. See, that's what I'm talking about. You have to look outside the box. First of all, that's not the only time you have. You forgot that you're in school for about 8 hours. Bro, 8 hours. And you have 5-minute breaks and 30-minute main break. So what I did was take your phone, yeah, the thing you're using every day, take pictures of every single fucking page in your book you have to study. And then guess what? You have 5-minute breaks, studying those 5-minute breaks. You have 30-minute break. Bro, that's like half an hour of studying. You eat your bloody lunch. And all the time rest when you were spending on TikTok and doing useless shit you could spend studying. I mean, of course, unless you're chatting with your friends, etc. That's nice. But if you're not, you could be studying. You could be studying. I did this. I studied for that time. And then guess what? You're driving home on the bus. Another half an hour, another hour. You could be studying. You're driving in school. You're driving back to school. You have a main break. You have many small breaks. Bro, that's like over an hour and a half of studying. Just in those times. If you're really trying hard. And then you come home and then you have to be 100% productive. You do not even touch your phone. You don't. Unless it's like really required to. But otherwise you don't. You come home. First thing you do is take your bloody books out. Eat your food. And then go study. Because here's the thing. You have to, okay, first of all, you have to listen in school. You have to get enough sleep to not be tired and to stay focused and listen to your teachers in school. Because it's really important to listen to what they say. Because once you start to listen to them, you're gonna remember way more stuff. That's how I do it. I sometimes don't even need to study something because the teacher already explained it to me and I understood. And if I don't understand something, you raise your hand and you ask the teacher. If the teacher is mad at you, fuck that guy. You're still gonna ask him. I know you might look like weird guy in front of everyone because the teacher is screaming at you. For example, if your teacher is pretty fucking bullshit. But still, you did it. Maybe he's gonna give you an answer. But here's the thing, it's not a problem in you, it's the problem in him. But at least you tried. At least you tried. And so, after you listen in school, you're gonna remember more shit. And then you come home. And you're focused. And you learn. You don't even need to learn every day. But every day when you come home, just repeat everything you took in that school day. Every single subject, every single thing you took in that day. Just in that day. Repeat it. That's gonna take you around 30 minutes or less. and then you still have time to study other subjects that you need to study, right? But you won't have to study those other subjects that long, because if you're gonna be constantly doing this, learning every single day what you learned in school, you're gonna basically know every fucking subject all the time. You're gonna know everything. And then once the test is coming, you're just gonna have to repeat everything and maybe study some small parts of it, but not all, because you're already gonna know shit. There was a study done a few years ago, and it goes like this. You're studying right now, and then you repeat about 4 hours after, and then 1 day after, and then half a week after, and a week after, and you're gonna remember the stuff, right? But what the point of the study is, it was done so how do you remember stuff easier? I mean, when do you remember the stuff the most? And that's why I do this. Because you're listening in school, you remember stuff here, but then as soon as you come home, you repeat that stuff, so it stays in your brain. And then before the test, you repeat it again, and you remember those 2 times, plus you add that time, and plus you add that time you learned. And I guarantee you, you're not gonna forget that thing on the test, you're gonna know it. So that's how you adjust your time. You use those small breaks, you use those small time windows that you think are useless and worthless and have no point in studying, but they actually do. I did this mistake once. I was waiting for the bus, and it was 7. I just had to wait for 7 minutes, and I was like, I had pictures on my phone, and I was like, why would I study right now? The 7 minutes are gonna do nothing. I'm not gonna remember nothing more. It's like I'm gonna come home and I'm gonna study for 30 minutes, right? But actually, when I came home, I was studying for 30 minutes, and I had 2 more pages left, and I had the test the next day. And I was like, fuck me, I could have learned those 2 pages in those 7 minutes, because they were not that long. So every fucking minute counts. And then I had to learn those things the next day, right? It's true, but I could have remembered them way easier and way better if I would have studied a day before. So always use every single fucking second of your time. And stay hard. And listen, I know this might be hard. I know this might be hard to do. But who said life is gonna be easy? No one said life is gonna be easy. If you wanna achieve the top achievements of the top man, to do self-improvement and school, you're gonna have to, you will struggle. But listen, it's worth it. At the end, it's worth it. Because what I told you now, you don't use all your time for school, because you, like, if you came home and you studied for 1 hour, and you managed to put that 1 hour in school breaks and on the bus time, you have that 1 hour window now. And in that 1 hour, you can do self-improvement habits, you can journal, you can meditate, you can do whatever the fuck you have to do. See, 1 hour of self-improvement. Just because you started using your time more smarter. And yeah, remember, it is gonna be pain. But if you work smarter, not harder, but smarter, you can achieve anything. Listen, I can promise you one thing. It's gonna be painful. But hey, you'll get through it, because you are a fucking man. And you know that pain sucks. And you know failure sucks, and it puts you through hell. But hey, I know it sucks, but it's what makes us stronger. Stay hard.